Sunday morning cold, eyes on the score, touchdown dance ball, craving for more. Friends are calling, trades are on fire. Rookies falling, championship desire. Fantasy football fever, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, we're the winning team.
This is a story of a time long ago, a time of myth and legend, when the ancient fantasy gods were petty and cruel and plagued mankind with suffering. Only two men dared to challenge their power, the fantasy football healers. And here we are, talking tight ends. I'm Dustin Brown, and with me is Colton Palmer.
How's it going, guys? I'm rocking my Indiana Jones hat thanks to Dustin, who delivered a wonderful present to us yesterday. I hate you for it, but it was pretty great. I waited for my wife to get home from the wedding to open it up. I was like, well, yeah, Dustin got us a gift. I want you to be here to help open it. And she opens it up. She goes, what is this? And I'm over here just cracking up laughing. It's an Indiana Jones hat, a whip, and a wonderful onesie that says Indianapolis Colts on it. And on the back, it's got Indiana Jones. But don't worry, it's got Peyton Manning's number. So it's still good for something.
I think that's also Daniel Jones's number.
No, it's not. He did not take the number, did he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm done.
That's supposed to be Daniel Jones' actual number.
I'm done. Get him out of here. You know what? I'm out. I'm done.
My gosh, Colton. I am so hyped for Indiana Jones season.
I am not. I just hope that he's not good enough to win. That's my big hope. There's a lot of quarterbacks in next year's class, or even if he does win this year, hopefully they're bad next year, and we'll get Arch Manning. How beautiful! Like just theater.
I don't think he's coming out till 27.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully we're bad next year, is what I'm saying. If we don't get one this year, if Indiana Jones is just good enough so we miss out on a quarterback, I hope we're bad the following year and we get Arch Manning. And how beautiful and poetic would it be?
Daniel Jones will be good enough. He'll get a 3-year, $100 million contract with most of it guaranteed. It'll set the Colts back for about a decade.
If you want me to quit this podcast, just say it, Dustin.
No, I think Indiana Jones is going to be the best quarterback available for the Colts for this season, and they're already reeling back on Richardson with his shoulder. I don't think Richardson starts a game this season.
I think he gets a chance at some point. He will get another chance. They spent high draft capital on him. Now, is that only half a game? Maybe, but he's going to get a shot at some point.
Colton, we got some news. Got a few things that have happened over this past week. The first, we got to talk to tight ends. Jonnu Smith has been traded to the Steelers. Steelers led the league in 3 tight end sets last season at 15%. He is also returning back to Arthur Smith in his offense. And with Arthur Smith, he was very successful there with the Falcons.
I hate it so much. For the fact of, we were just talking the last episode I was on, Pat Freiermuth and him being a decent option again. And here they are. I think they're just going to absolutely eat into each other's workload. It's going to be, I think it made both of them drop drastically. Jonnu last year was a league winner for some people. I mean, he was dominating there on the Dolphins, getting lots of targets. We saw him work the middle of the field for Tua just to get the ball out of his hands quickly to keep Tua healthy. And so we saw him get all these targets and dominate, and then all of a sudden he gets traded to the Steelers, where I don't think he's going to get that target workload, and he still has another very good tight end on top of that across from him. So, I mean, they're going to play a lot of two tight end sets, but I think they're just going to eat into each other's workload.
Didn't John you step into that same situation with the Falcons, beating out Pitts for targets and opportunities?
I think, unfortunately, I think that was maybe a Pitts problem, not necessarily a like offensive design problem. Arthur Smith does love Jonnu, but Jonnu has proven himself to be an athletic, very good tight end in this league.
They're talking about Jonnu playing in the slot, playing the tight end position, playing fullback. It sounds like they want to move this guy all around the field. And, for the lack there of weapons that's with the Steelers right now, they got DK and they got Fairmouth, of course, but I mean, there's a good chance he's going to be playing more inline. Jonnu's going to be everywhere. Does that not raise the floor up a little bit?
It raises it a tiny amount, but I mean
Floor.
that's just off-season talk, though, too. We'll see what actually comes to happen. With Aaron Rodgers there, they're going to be slinging the ball. So this is their one shot, and I can just see them eating into each other's workload, and that's my fear, and I'm just trying to stray away from those two at this point.
Well, with Jonnu moving on from Miami now with the Steelers, that opens up the door for the tight ends for the Dolphins, only to walk in none other than Darren Waller, fresh out of retirement.
Is this real news, or is this just what's happening? So we got to talk about it.
I mean, Darren Waller, he's back.
I think this is going to go as well as his rapping career went. I think Darren Waller is cooked, and there's a reason.
For a year.
There's a reason that he retired, and I think he should have stayed that way. But we'll see what comes of it. But I could definitely. I heard they were talking about trading for Kyle Pitts. There's big news on the street that they were trying to, but the Falcons stood firm that they want a third round for Kyle Pitts. And over the last few years, he has just shown he's not worth that price. So I was really hoping it was actually going to be Pitts that moved on. But
I think Pitts is going to move on at some point because the rumor mill was out there also with the Steelers potentially trading for Pitts.
Yeah. I mean, there could be, but it sounds like they're just standing firm. They want a third, and I mean, they haven't moved with Kirk Cousins yet either, so they're still paying him a bunch. So we'll see what comes of it if they do move on from him or if he's just a free agent next year.
Yeah, I was going to say final season for Pitts, so we'll definitely find that out here probably sooner than later. I'd imagine they'd want to move him before the camp start here in about a few weeks. Khalil Herbert of your Colts is a cut candidate.
I mean, once again, not surprised. I mean, you've got a star in Jonathan Taylor. They're going to ride him. I mean, he was getting 30-plus touches there towards the end of the year. They love him there. They're going to use him. They paid him to do that. I mean, he got big money from them to do that. So they're going to ride him into the sunset. But they also went and drafted a rookie in DJ Giddens, and he's a perfectly good, capable backup to have behind Jonathan Taylor. So it's no surprise there to me. And he's not even.
I'm hoping Herbert comes to the Vikings. We could use an RB3. The Dallas Cowboys special team player Cavante Turpin was arrested on Saturday, July 5th on marijuana weapon charges, speeding at 97 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone. Authorities reported him seeing an unholstered 9mm pistol in plain view in the backseat and discovering less than 2 ounces of marijuana in the center console. Do you think that affects his fantasy value?
Yeah, he went from like the 140th to maybe the 145th now.
Speaking of 4th of July weekend, we had recently found out about Najee Harris. He was catching a firework in the eye, but he escaped with minor injuries.
Yeah, I mean, he will, it's a good thing he didn't get major injuries, but does this increase our outlook on Hampton?
No.
No, okay.
I don't think so. I really don't. I really think Harris is still going to get the ball more than what you want.
Yeah, I think
that's fine. The final bit of news, we just found out late last night, Judkins gets arrested on domestic violence charges down in Florida.
I have not heard that.
Oh, yeah. The Twitter world was going nuts last night.
I saw Quinshawn Judkins pop across my screen, but like I said, my wife was at a wedding last night, so it was me and all three boys, so I didn't get a whole lot of time to look at my phone. And oh man,
This is why
oh
you tune
man,
into the news, Colton.
I know. Well, this is why you listen to the healers. My goodness. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Not good.
So I saw last night that there was a league mate that ended up tossing up. I think no, it was Jerome Ford up on the block, and then I keep seeing all these memes about Dylan Sampson, and then there's all these other memes that say like, "Little do they know, I only own 4% of Judkins" or something like that. So I just found it comical with what memes are out there already. They're just so quick.
Man, you got to be on it if you want to get one of those first memes out. Holy crap. No, I did not hear that. I'm actually entering a couple of rookie drafts here coming up, and like I think the next 4 weekends for me are filled with rookie drafts. So and there's a couple that I was targeting Judkins, but man, that's gonna make it tough. That's gonna make it tough. I don't know what to do now. What are you doing with Judkins?
You know what? I made a mistake in my No Guts No Glory league. I was just talking about it, I think, with you yesterday about how I had the 102 and the 104, and in that league I was quarterback needy because I went Anthony Richardson in the startup in the first round, and I ended up going at the 102. I'm like, well, there's only one real quarterback that I think I could utilize this year, and that's Cam Ward. So instead of having the risk of Cam Ward being taken at the 3 spot and not getting him at the 4, I went with Ward over Amari and Hampton, and instant regret. And then, sure enough, Omarion went at number 3, and then I had to choose who I wanted at 104. And at the time, there was all this speculation that Judkins is going to be the Nick Chubb, and he's going to get the volume, he's going to get the targets. And I really wasn't a Dylan Sampson guy, so I felt like Judkins was going to get it all. And I was like, well, you know what? I really wish I would have went Henderson over Judkins, and I really liked RJ Harvey, but I was able to get back in the draft later on. I ended up getting Harvey at the 1-8. But yeah, I know I just talked to you about that yesterday,
Yeah,
and then all of a
we
sudden,
did.
hours later, and then Judkins picked up.
Crazy.
That's just how it goes.
Come on, rookies, just stop doing dumb stuff.
Domestic violence,
Uh,
domestic
that- That's
violence.
not a good one. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. I mean, Kareem Hunt got kicked off of the team for a violence charge. I mean, it wasn't domestic violence, but still, it was. Oh no, it was domestic violence. So yeah, he just got dropped instantly. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cleveland Browns do here. I'm sure they'll wait to see, what the saying is and what's coming out about it. But I mean, that could be a career killer, an absolute career killer.
Hasn't even started yet, Colton.
I know, crazy.
Let's get into the tight ends. These are the tight ends for redraft rankings. And I'd like to start at the top at the number 1 position, work our way down, and we'll just see how far we can go.
I mean, let's do it.
Who's your number 1?
Okay, we don't even need to. I think our top two are going to be quite similar. I could see them flip flopped either
Are you
way.
sure, though?
I am 99.99% sure about this one. This is like if you pick anything other than these two, I think you're crazy. So we'll see. But my number one's easily Brock Bowers. I mean, come on. It is the plain and simple option out there. Like, look what he did last year. They bring in a better quarterback, a more stable quarterback situation in Geno Smith. He's going to get peppered with targets. They're still lacking in the wide receiver department. A lot of big news came out about Jack Besh and how everyone loved him. Have you heard anything since? Like just dark, just black, like nothing good, nothing bad. You've heard nothing about Jack Besh.
Nope.
So maybe
Myers is
that's
playing that role.
right. Maybe it's not coming to fruition like everyone was hoping. Everybody loved him going into the draft, but man, it's just gone dark. So I think Brock Bowers is going to be an absolute target monster again, and I mean he was just dominant last year. I don't think there's anything more to say. He should be the number one tight end taken off the board every time.
Brock Bowers, I drafted him in the Scott Fish Bowl
Scotty
in the first
Fish.
round. Yeah, Scott Fish Bowl. Hashtag SFB15. And pick 7, got him, and he gets 2 points per reception plus an additional 1 point for the tight end position. So I felt like that was just an easy button to push. But I kept going back and forth between Bowers and McBride, as you said. I think the 1-2s here in my doc, I actually had Trey McBride as number 1. I thought maybe I could go Bowers and then maybe have McBride sneak back around. I knew it wasn't going to happen the other way in the Scott Fish Bowl. But nothing's really changed with the Cardinals' offense over from last year to this year. He's the number 1 target. And then just going back to Bowers, tight end 1, tight end 2 for the year here. Tight end 1 was Bowers, tight end 2 being McBride. He's going to be the number 1 target again. He's coming off a historic rookie campaign, and now he gets a quarterback upgrade with Geno Smith. And it just looks like the Raiders are just like pushing forward as an organization. I'm not sure how successful they're going to be in the win section, but they're definitely going to be a competitive franchise.
I mean, bringing in Pete Carroll, just absolutely beautiful. It's gonna get better. The team's gonna be better. So I like Brock Bowers. He's my number 1.
I'm guessing your number 2 is McBride.
Oh my! How did you guess it?
Just
it's so hard to guess. I mean, it could have been
melt.
anyone else, honestly. But easily Trey McBride. Like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at anyone if they do have McBride above Bowers or whatever. I'm not gonna be mad. It's not my preference. I think that Bowers is just gonna see more targets and everything. Just because, like we were talking about earlier, Bowers just doesn't have the competition. I mean, Trey McBride still has Marvin Harrison Jr. there, and he still has James Conner out of the backfield. I guess you got Genty out of the backfield for Bowers now, but we still don't know how they're going to utilize him. So, so you still got a couple of targets that can go other places for McBride, and that's just the only reason that I would swap them down. So
I would argue that McBride doesn't have much competition either for targets.
I mean, not much, but Marvin Harrison is still there. He's still going to get targets.
Yeah, I mean, he's good for 600 yards.
I can't wait for him to blow up this year. I'm going to text you every single time he does.
You were texting me last year when he's like, "Oh, here's one good play. Here's another good play," and then it was just like silence.
There was that 1 week that I was like, "This is why he was the best," and then he went.
Yeah, that was like week 4 or something like that. He had like 2 touchdowns. They were big plays, but only like 3 targets though.
Yeah. He's gonna be better this year. I promise you that.
So I'm gonna jump to my pick 3 at the tight end position, and this ends my God tier. I got George Kittle here. I think he's the number 1 target for this offense. You got Ayuk, you got Jennings, and you got Pearsall already injured. CMC, is he healthy? Is he not? I feel like George Kittle's going to be the main piece for this 49ers offense. And oh, by the way, they also have lost a number of defensive players. So they're going to be playing potentially from behind or have more neutral game strips, providing more opportunities for Kittle.
I couldn't agree more. Sitting at my number 3 is George Kittle. So George Kittle, like you said, him and Brock Purdy really created a nice relationship last year. And I think we're just going to continue to see that this year. He really became Brock's go-to guy, and he would just feed him the ball. And I mean, Kittle is a very athletic tight end. He's great when the ball just gets into his hand. He's able to make moves, make people miss. He's very athletic. So I really like what he can do, and I think he's going to be a big focal point, especially with all that stuff you just mentioned and the injuries and the shakeups and everything. So George Kittle, these are the top 3. I think after this there's a massive tier break. I mean, if you can get these top 3, you have true difference makers at the tight end, like true difference makers. Beyond this, there's still some very good names left on the board, but these 3 are key players that you want to get, especially in redraft. And if you're in Dynasty, I mean, having those on your team already, I think you got to pay the world to get them in Dynasty.
Yeah, especially in multiple tight end leagues, tight end premium leagues. What I like about Kittle for redraft is you don't have to pay up in the first 2 rounds to get him. You can get a solid running back, a solid wide receiver. Maybe you want to go double running back or double wide receiver. It just depends on what your build you want to be. But you can get that nice, solid, don't have to think about it tight end right there in the 3rd round at pick 44.
Love it. It's just beautiful.
All right, but that ends my tier, the God tier. Do you have anybody else in this same tier?
Nope, that's a big tier break for me.
Okay, who's your number 4?
So my number 4 might be a little bit shocking, just because he had a massive rookie season and then dropped down to the tight end 8 in full PPR last year. But that's Sam Laporta. Um, and the reason I have Sam Laporta up there is because of his touchdown upside and for the fact that his offense is shaking up. You know, we saw Ben Johnson create this offense that moved the ball around a whole bunch. They utilized multiple people, and he took a different role in that second year. I mean, his first year, he had lots of touchdowns. He had 10. You know, that really boosted his value a bunch, but that was just because he was seeing good opportunity to receive these touchdowns. And I think this year, I think we're going to see this new offensive coordinator start focusing on some guys that he can trust. And that's Amon Ra and Sam Laporta. He's got two guys that he can trust. You know, Ben Johnson's like, I trusted everybody. He established the offense. This new guy is going to step in and he's following up a great offensive mind. He's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to go to the guys that I know are good. And that's Sam Laporta and Amon Ra that he knows he can trust in this offense. So I think we see some big opportunity increase here with Sam Laporta.
You'll have to wait a little bit later to see where Sam Laporta lands on my list. My number 4 is actually TJ Hawkinson of the Vikings. He was tight end 34 last year, coming off of an ACL injury in 2024. Now another year removed from injury. I think he's probably the number 2 target on the Vikings. And yes, I have got concerns about JJ McCarthy, but with some of these he's basically going to be a rookie quarterback. The tight end tends to be a nice outlet for these rookies. So I really like Hawkinson. When he came back last year, you know, he was averaging anywhere between 5 and 9 targets each game. And he didn't look too bad last year. But now, again, another year out, that's when you want to get him. And so this is going to be kind of a post-hype sleeper Hawkinson at the tight end 4 position for me.
I absolutely love that pick, but you'll have to wait just a little bit longer to see where I've got Hawk. All right, my number 5, who I've got here is he was picked up by the Denver Broncos. That's Evan Ingram here at the number 5. I think this guy is going to be absolutely peppered with targets. We saw him in Jacksonville get just target after target after target. I mean, I'm sure maybe that was the offense, or maybe it's because Evan Ingram's good at getting open in the midfield, you know. So I could see him going to Denver here where there's not a lot of people to take targets away from him. I mean, you got Cortland Sutton. There's not a pause here. That's all we've got. That's all we got. So you got Cortland Sutton here. He's brought in to be a guy, I think, to get peppered with targets. You know, sure, he's starting to age, but yeah, he's starting to age. But I mean, I think he's going to have a few good years. Sean Payton knows what to do with tight ends. He's always focused a lot on tight ends. So I really like Evan Ingram here, and especially since you can probably get him pretty late in redrafts. So I think he's going to be, especially in full PPR or even, you know, tight end premium specifically, I think he's just going to be an absolute target hog.
Bo Colton for Ingram, you're going to have to wait no more because he is also my tight end number 5. Hawkinson and Ingram are my elite high volume tight end tier. Hawkinson was at pick 81. You said you can get Evan Ingram even later, the 104 position. Last year, both these guys went back to back at tight end 33 and tight end 34. Last year's season didn't go the way that you wanted for either tight end. But Ingram, I thought he was going to break the tight end record last year in 2024. And if you forget, go back to some of our episodes from August of last year. That was definitely something I had in my mind. And he just wasn't healthy during last year, and the Jaguars just imploded. You know, could this be the year now that he has, I would say, a more elite quarterback in Bo Nix and the Broncos offense? And that's going to lead to more touchdown opportunities, more targets. And I really like where Ingram is sitting on this team as the number 2 target, maybe number 1 target.
And like when Bo Nix was coming into the league, like my big knock on him was that he didn't throw the ball super far downfield at Oregon. And I mean, he was very accurate with close to the goal line stuff, or close to the line of scrimmage stuff, like tossing the ball in the midfield, like shorter midfield. That's what he was really, really good at. Like his ADOT was 7 something, which was insane coming out of college. So I think he still prefers that shorter distance, which is where Ingram is going to play. I mean, we found out Bo Nix is just a good quarterback, but I still think he will like having that guy that can remain close to the line of scrimmage. He could get the ball out quick to him in those short passes, and that'll be Ingram just eating up balls.
My tight end 6, I got 3 guys in this next tier, the high upside tight end tier. And, I still think there's some upside with this guy, but where he's getting drafted, I just don't foresee myself taking him because I like Hawkinson and I like Ingram that much more. It's Travis Kelce of the Chiefs. He was tight end 5 last year. I feel like he just kind of like backed his way into the tight end 5 position. I feel like he's going to back his way into that tight end 6 position. He's not going to be, dominating leagues like he was just a few years ago. But he maybe the Chiefs might be forced to throw a little bit more because the defense is starting to break down. They may have more scoring opportunities now that they're passing more frequently in a division that is now more competitive with the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So I still feel like Kelce, although he's old and he's showing there's some wear on the tires, I feel like this could be his final season, in my opinion. I really don't think he has a whole lot left in the tank. I think that if they would have done the three-peat for the Super Bowl, I think we wouldn't be talking about Kelce here on this episode. I think he would have retired.
Yeah, you have to wait just a wee bit longer because my number 6 though is T.J. Hawkinson. So you nailed it. He's the number 2 option. He was coming on strong there at the end of the year, coming off the big ACL tear and everything. And that's when we see him really start ramping up is towards the end of the season of like their return season. We saw him really start ramping up, concerns with JJ McCarthy. I'm not super concerned. JJ McCarthy is going to be good enough to get the ball where Hawkinson operates in the midfield. So I think he'll be able to easily just feed Hawkinson if need be. But he's going to go to guys that he can trust, and that's going to be Hawk and JJ. So I think we should see no problems with Hawk. My number 7 guy, though, and this one is going to be maybe controversial, but I got David Njoku here. I absolutely love Njoku, and regardless of how bad that this team is going to be, it's ugly. I mean, you're not looking at a lot of touchdown upside, but they're gonna have to try to score, and there's really not a whole lot of options. We saw Jerry Jeudy finally break out, and year 5 or 6 now it is for him. It was year 5, I believe. I mean, we see him finally break out. How true was that breakout? I mean, I wouldn't call a breakout in year 5. He should have done that years and years ago. So I don't believe it's true. But David Njoku, I truly believe that he is a very good player. He's very athletic. He makes some extremely athletic moves. And no matter what quarterback gets placed in that position, I think they're going to be looking for him on the field. And so I think he's going to get a lot of targets. And he's someone that you can probably get pretty cheap because people are going to be turned off from the Browns. So I like him a lot, and I think he's just going to get target after target.
You're going to have to wait a little bit longer, quite a bit longer, I think, for me, actually. I think we probably have these 2 guys maybe flip-flopped, I'm assuming. But this is going to be kind of a strange pick here, Colton. I'm going with
I know.
Brenton Strange of the Jaguars at the tight end 7. He was tight end 31 last year. Ingram played week 1. He played through week 6 through 14. That equaled 64 targets. Strange had 53 targets. I don't think it's out of this world to say that Strange's targets are going to double. So if you double from 53 to 106 targets, 80 receptions, 822 yards, and 4 touchdowns, that's good for 182 fantasy points. And that would have been tight end 7 last year between Andrews and Ertz. So I feel like he's got no other competition as far as the tight end position. He's got a part-time wide receiver playing in Hunter. And you also got BTJ. So, I mean, he could be the number 2 target for this offense. And I put my money where my mouth is here, Colton. I drafted Strange about 2.5 rounds early in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Scotty Fish.
So I got him as a double stack with Lawrence and with Hunter. I feel like the Jaguars are going to be a much more competitive team with Cohen as a coach, and they can compete in their division. So why not? Go
Yeah,
Strange.
I don't hate the pick, but I do have him a little bit later on. And I mean, we saw Cade Otton be productive in Cohen's offense, so he does like to get the ball to those tight ends. So definitely a strange pick, but not a bad
Strange.
one. Um,
So to end my high upside tier, you already talked about this guy. This is my tight end 8, and that's Sam Laporta. He was tight end 8 last season. I feel like he's going to just stay the course at the tight end 8 here this season. And I think a lot has to do with there was less passing plays in 2024 for the Lions. They at 53%. Compared to 2023, they were at 56.5%. When what's interesting about that stat is their defense completely crumbled, but yet they were still staying in a lot of these games and dominating a lot of these games. And Jamison Williams getting involved and having those big splash plays, that really took away from Sam Laporta last year. And I feel like that they're just going to be reeling it back because everything that they did last year worked for them, and it got them to be the number 1 seed and to win their division for 2 years in a row. So Sam Laporta here, I feel like, tight end 8. I don't see him being any less than that. I could see him being more than that, and I think you had him at 6. Is that right? 4.
4.
Yeah, that's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, especially since he's already finished as the tight end 1 once. He could easily pop back up there, but it's definitely a higher risk, higher reward, though. So between him. At my number 8, I've got Travis Kelce. And this is an end of a tier in itself. I kind of have Njoku and Kelce lopped together, but you hit the nail on the head with Kelce and the fact that he's starting to age out. We're starting to see it, but we watched the Chiefs get absolutely embarrassed in last year's Super Bowl. Their offense couldn't move. They couldn't do anything. They were just getting dominated left and right. So I think this is finally the time we see the Chiefs say, you know what, we need to get back to that high flying, high powered offense that we used to be. They didn't want to play like that. They wanted to play games, keep it close, let their defense do the dirty work, beat teams down and just so keep the games close, and they didn't have to be that high powered offense. Well, we saw the Philadelphia Eagles figure this out and just absolutely wallop them, and they weren't able to get back to that high powered offense. They haven't had to play that way. And so they couldn't keep up in points. So I think we see the Chiefs become this, you know what? We have Kelce for a very limited time. We're going to use him. We're going to absolutely weather his body away, basically. So I could see him having some massive upside. And that's who I got as Njoku and Kelce as my high upside but low payment guys, just they can absolutely be target hogs and get targeted a bunch this season, I could see.
One more thing with the Kansas City, you talked about how they were playing poorly against the Eagles. Their offensive line was in complete shambles at during the Super Bowl. They fixed a lot of the line in the offseason. They didn't fix up their defense quite that much. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't really invest in the running back position. So what does that tell you? Mahomes is going to start throwing some more. So Kelce, he has some upside, even though, again, at a later stage in his career.
I think they're going to have to start chucking the ball again in order to, the NFL's changing once again, and they're starting to figure out like, hey, they're just trying to put the defense on us, but their offense isn't high powered. So if we can put points up early and dominate, they can't. They're going to struggle to come back, and we're going to see some people exploit what the Eagles found out about the Chiefs last year. So I think we're going to see some higher pointage games with these Chief games finally.
Definitely. Who's your tight end 9?
My tight end 9 is my boy. I hated the pick because we had other things we needed, but that's Tyler Warren. He was drafted to the Colts to be a high target earner. We've been searching for that tight end piece for years. Mo Alley Cox, Jelani Woods. We've been trying to find a good tight end that we can utilize. And I think we finally found it in Tyler Warren. He was an absolute beast in college. I loved his tape. He was athletic. They tried to get him the ball as much as they could. That he was their offense. They were like, you know what, where's he at? Get him the ball, let him do something. He's athletic with the ball in his hands. He can make moves. He's got good hands. So I think he's going to be an absolute dominator here with the Indianapolis Colts. And we've seen the fall of Michael Pittman. He's been having back issues. I like Josh Downs, I do, but he's so small that I think they're going to try to get the ball to Warren more when they need big plays to happen. Josh Downs is like a possession guy, but if they need a big play and a big boy to get the ball in his hands, they're going to be going to him. And unfortunately, we're going to be riding the back of Indiana Jones, baby. Yeah. Indiana Jones will make Tyler Warren relevant.
I've got this is kind of my solid tier, and the last guy in my solid tier kind of makes me want to puke, but we can talk about that later. But Tucker Kraft is my tight end 9. He was tight end 10 last year. You can get him at pick 122, so you don't have to pay up for him. For who could be the leading target for the Packers. They don't really have a wide receiver 1 on the team. They keep wanting to reel it back. Tucker Kraft, he's solid. He's made some plays. He's the tush push guy, so you might be able to get like a strange tight end 1-yard run from Tucker Kraft also, because they don't want to put Jordan Love behind center for the tush push. So I just like Tucker Kraft. He seems like he's that dog that you want for a tight end, and why not? Why not Tucker Kraft?
Why not, man? Why not pick him at number 9?
Just a solid guy.
Why not pick him at number 9 when you can have him in your number 10 spot? Because I've got Tucker Kraft sitting here at number 10 for me.
Nice.
And exactly what you said. And we talked about last year this Packers receiving core. We're like, oh, it's a bunch of young guys that are so good. Well, they're not that good. We found out this last season. It's a bunch of young guys. Well, it was. Now they're starting to get older. But, injuries here. Jaden Reed's not really that guy. So I think Tucker Kraft is one of the best steady options. I mean, he's going to get the work. Jordan Love is going to pass the ball. And I think Tucker Kraft is going to be a pretty solid go-to guy. I mean, they're still running the ball, I think, through Jacobs, though. I mean, we saw them run the ball a ridiculous amount with him. But when they got
a lot of wear
the
in the tires, though.
I was going to say, you're going to have to pass the ball at some point, and, the options seem to just kind of go downhill. They picked up Matthew Golden, and that still doesn't scare me off at all. Not even a little bit. Doesn't make me
they
even
cycle through their wide receivers so much that why pick a wide receiver when you could get the value at the tight end position with the Packers?
Absolutely.
With Tucker Kraft.
Yep.
This guy it's not a sexy name, but he's another solid tight end that you can get year in and year out, and that's Hunter Henry of the Patriots. Will the Patriots offense take that leap? I'm taking that step in the right direction for the Patriots. I feel like they're starting to put some more pieces around May, but that being said, he still has his safety blanket in Hunter Henry, and at tight end 10, I feel like that's just kind of a value pick. It's not a sexy name. It's not something that's going to get you overly excited, but in redraft, if you could wait the entire draft and get Hunter Henry at the end of the draft, and you'd be just fine.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait a while to hear Hunter Henry's name on my list. A long while. He's made
he doesn't have a lot of the upside.
You're right. It's not.
He's a safety guy. He's safe.
It's not sexy. I think he's got a good floor to him. But yeah, it's the upside there with the Hunter Henry is, it's questionable. But I mean, there's not a lot of options there either, though, for passing. So the competition just isn't there. So I mean, there's a possibility for some upside, but man, it's just it's not the sexy name that you want to see. Like if you're sitting there and your opponent has Hunter Henry across from you, you're just kind of like, whatever. You're not shaking in your boots like, crap, this guy is going to blow up at any point. But he has some big games.
Just a solid tight end. He's just a solid guy.
At my number 11, I finally get to Brenton Strange here, and all of the reasons you picked him at 7 is just absolutely spot on. I just had all these other names ahead of him because I like their upside. I really like what he did at the end of the year. I think he has some serious upside, and he's going to be the consistent guy. Everybody's talking about Travis Hunter right now. Well, we've talked about it many times. How are they going to use him? Do they need him to play defense? So, maybe offense? Is he just in a couple packages? But Brenton Strange is going to be out there, and he's going to be getting work. And hopefully we see Trevor Lawrence stay healthy and take the step up that he needs to take.
Has to take.
He has to take it. And so hopefully we see that. I mean, he's a higher risk, but I think he's got some serious reward, but you don't have to pay that much to get him anyways.
Nope. Again, Strange is pick 169. So you could actually draft him after Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's going at 163.
Whew.
So why go Henry when you could go Strange?
Dr.
I'm surprised
Strange.
actually to hear you say Strange's name this early. I thought you were going to have him a bit further down the list, but it makes me very happy to hear his name here at 11. My 11 is another solid tight end, a tight end that you've been depending on for a number of years, and that's Mark Andrews with the Ravens at pick 98. You can wait on him. He was tight end 6 still just last year, but very propped up by the touchdown rate of 11 last year, which is not a sticky stat, although there's still going to be opportunities because the Ravens are going to have such a explosive offense again. They're going to have a lot of opportunities in the red zone. And so although 11 touchdowns is very high for Mark Andrews, I still think the opportunities are going to be there, even though I think his targets are still going to be on the lower end.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Mark Andrews' name because at 12, I have Mark Andrews. Not also. I've got him one spot below her.
I was wondering. I thought you were going to have him. I thought you were going to have him where Strange was, and I thought we were going to be like meshed. We're just a little off.
I've got Andrews just one spot back, and like you said, he's taken a step back in this offense, but he's still his red zone guy. And I don't see that changing. Mark Andrews is a big red zone threat, and he always has been throughout his career. He's just always received more receptions and more targets. But we've seen this offense finally like shift and change around a little bit. And so I still think he has that touchdown upside. Like you said, it's not a sticky stat. We can't predict touchdowns. But if anyone has that high touchdown upside and red zone threat like Mark Andrews, you got to take the shot on him, especially for someone with such a history. I think it was super underreported last year that he got into a pretty serious car accident right before the beginning of the season. And like everybody's like, oh, Mark Andrews is done for. He's cooked. He's toast. Like Isaiah Likely is that guy now. And I mean, Isaiah Likely is incredible. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk about him here in a second. But it's just absolutely crazy that people thought he was just completely done, and it was so underreported that he got in that accident, and we saw him healed up towards the end and come back to glory.
My tight end 12 is the end of this tier, and I don't think solid defines him because I don't think he is solid. But I think the opportunity continues to present itself with Trey Burton 2.0. That's Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid, he was tight end 30 last year. Yes, that's right. Tight end 30 for this valuable offense that is Buffalo. Still so many people, you having Josh Allen as your number one, and I had him in the top 3. They don't have a primary wide receiver one for the offense, and Dalton Kincaid needs to step up if he wants to remain relevant. And I think maybe this is his year. This is that make or break season for Dalton Kincaid. But there hasn't been a lot of changes on the offense, but the opportunity presents itself again. So I think because of the opportunities, that's where he falls in the solid category for me at tight end 12.
You have Kincaid higher than me. You love him. You love him.
It pains me. It pains me so.
As a Dalton Kincaid lover and fan, my goodness, Dustin, You have him
Yeah,
too
that
high.
that's got yeah. Well,
No, I think I
I've
think this
never
is the
had him.
right spot.
I've
I
never
think
had him higher.
this is the right spot for him. I think I have just been in so much pain. I just couldn't do it.
When
I
people are off, you got to come back and go for it. It's
I I have not traded him away in any league.
he's
I have not traded him away in a single league at all, but I'm actually searching for him to see how low people are going on him in Dynasty. Just to see if, because like you said, the upside is still there. You know, they didn't change the wide receiver situation at all. Like they did nothing. So he still has that opportunity is there, and he just has to take that step up, man. And gosh, he has to do it. If especially if the Bills want to be a serious, I mean, they are a serious Super Bowl contender, but if they really want to take this team to the next step, they've got to have a consistent wide receiver. They've got to have a consistent pass catcher. And I mean, the door's open for any one of them. You know, Keon Coleman, Isaiah Likely, Dalton Kincaid,
Dawson
Khalil
Knox.
Shakir. Stop it. Khalil Shakir. One of them has to be a consistent guy that's making big plays, and man, someone has to step up and do it. And hopefully, Kincaid put in the work this offseason, but man,
I think he gets more room because Cooks. I don't think he's going to be signing anytime soon, and he's going to be a hold-in. And I don't know, what does Buffalo say about that? They could say, "Hey, we're done with you," and just move forward and say, "Hey, we'll just lean on Josh Allen that much more."
yeah, and that would be what would be best for Kincaid. Is allowed Allen to because Cook was so good last year. They're just like, hey, let's feed him the ball. I mean, he was so good last year that they could do whatever they want with him on the ground. I mean, I loved it for my Cook shares, but my Dalton Kincaid shares definitely suffered from it.
They also know they're not going to be signing him again, so they're trying to just wear and tear him down last year, and then going into this year, that's what their expectations are.
On to my number 13, still not Dalton Kincaid. But that's Mark Andrews' teammate in Isaiah Likely. I truly like Likely a whole bunch. We saw what he did.
Obviously.
We saw what he did in those first couple of games, man. And he was incredibly athletic. He showed off his hands. We showed off his route running skills, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I think we're going to see them utilize him more. They've come out and they've talked about how they want to do more two tight end sets. They talked about that. I don't like this receiver room. I mean, Rashad Bateman did okay last year. He had a couple of big bombs. He finally showed a little bit of potential. You know, I just really don't like this receiver room that much. And I truly like Isaiah Likely. And I mean, you could probably get him so incredibly late that I think that he is a good upside to him, and I like his athletic ability. And if Mark Andrews were to go down, we saw what Likely can be. I mean, he was dominant those first couple weeks.
Yeah, likely you can get him at pick 152. So you can just still before Strange.
This might be just like my dynasty like brain that loves him that much, and I boost him up. But man, I love Likely. I do. I like him a lot.
Let's see if he's going to be there at my pick 13. Not bloody likely. Likely is my tight end 23. Again, competing with Andrews, multiple wide receivers. I try not to speculate about injuries, although Mark Andrews does have some injuries behind his name. He is not my tight end 13, but somebody that you've talked about earlier on is here at pick 13. I have this as the high risk, high reward tier, and that is Tyler Warren of your Colts. He was the second tight end drafted in the NFL draft, but he was tight end one for most analysts, including yours truly and Colton as well. Colts sling the rock with Dr. Jones. There's no more tight end carousel in Indy, and so look for Tyler Warren to be that guy on a team that is going to be underrated in your Colts. They're going to win some games, Colton, and Tyler Warren could be the guy that's leading the way.
I told you I like Warren. I hated the pick at the time of the draft. I liked Tyler Warren. I liked him a lot. He was my number one tight end before the draft. It remained my number one after the draft. I just hated the pick as a Colts fan because there's so many other needs. And I also really liked Jelani Woods. That athletic freak just couldn't stay healthy. But I think he's a solid pick in redraft, and especially as a guy that you're just kind of taking a shot on. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking deep tight ends here. These are guys
Oh
that
yes.
these are guys that like they're not going to be your every single week player kind of guy. I mean, beyond my top 6, I'd say you're not you're not playing him every week. You're subbing him
I know.
in and out, moving around, playing it. Got to play it correctly with him. So you're just taking a shot on the guys that have some upside. And so I think Warren absolutely has some upside to just be able to plug in here and there and get some big weeks out of.
All right, who's your next guy?
For my tight end 14, we finally get to the love of my life, Dalton Kincaid. We finally get there. Nothing but pain, man. I picked him up in dynasties. Like I traded for him last year. I had him in redrafts last year because my hopes were through the absolute freaking roof on this guy, man. I mean, the opportunity was there to take over that role, and they had nothing, and they still don't. So the opportunity's still there. I'm just in pain. I just got kicked in the nuts for 17 weeks
You're
over
always
and
in so
over.
much pain, Colton. You talk about being in pain all the time.
That's because Dynasty's nothing but pain, man. This game we play brings
You're
nothing
really
but
talking the
pain.
fantasy fans into listening and playing Dynasty Fantasy Football,
This
Colton.
is
You are
why we
doing your
play.
job.
This is why we play. It's for the pain. It's for the love and the pain. It's like golf, you know? It's like you're hating it for 16 holes. You hate it. But then the last 2 holes you get beautiful shots and you're like, this is why I keep playing. This is for the love of the game. This is it. But honestly, Kincaid, it's still there. They didn't change anything like we were talking about. And so the upside's there, and he's dropped off. You don't have to pay what you paid last year. You had to pay out the wazoo to get him last year. Now I'm sure he's dropped off so much that it's like, whatever. You know, he's
He's
not
dropped
being.
off so much, I'm in.
Yeah, he's dropped. He
Would have
dropped off
guessed.
so much. You have him ahead of me. So
Yes.
just in that fact, he's definitely still worth taking a shot on, and especially on the Bills offense, who is high powered. And man, we'll see.
So not only a late tight end that you can pick in redraft, but maybe a guy that you can go after in dynasty because guys like you that drafted him 2-3 years ago are
Not
almost out on him,
not
in the
not
sense
like
of
me.
not being that elite tight end. And maybe you can get him for a discount.
I think you can absolutely get him from a discount as long as there's not people out there like me that still do love him, even though they've brought him so much pain. They still love him, but there's people that are totally off of him. They're like, he's done. So I don't think you even have to pay that much to get him at this point.
Tight end 14.
It's hard to love. It's hard to be free.
Stop.
Darren Waller, tight end 14. You know what tight end he was last year? He was retired, Colton. He wasn't even playing. He's fresh out of retirement. He's got those fresh legs. He's taken on the Jonnu role. Mental illness has been a known problem for Mr. Waller. But when the Dolphins are going to go potentially belly up, is he going to stick around? So yes, he is a high risk, high reward player. But if he gets the Jonnu role, he's going to get targeted.
You can
And
say
Darren
high
Waller,
risk one more time.
this is really leaning hard on the upside play here with Darren Waller, but he is tight end.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thought of love was real.
I honestly thought you were playing me a sad song for Dalton Kincaid sitting at my 14. I thought that's what it was. I was like, thank you.
No, I got something better for you for that one.
Needed that. Oh man, this world's smallest violin being
Fun.
played for me.
Uh,
I
I
don't
don't
think
have
there's.
Shadir's rap song. I don't have Richardson's rap song
We need
yet.
Anthony
So
Richardson's rap song.
maybe you guys can like send me a message on X and maybe I can add that to our song list here.
Oh man. I don't have much to say about Waller. He's not in my top 20 because I just don't think it's gonna work, man. I just
Sometimes
don't.
you got to take risks. I mean,
I mean,
you
it's a
draft
high
this
risk.
guy as tight end 14.
Do
I
you even have
mean,
to draft him?
you can see in the first few weeks, is he going to be worth a damn or not? And if
Oh
he's
yeah.
not, you just drop him and then you play the tight end. Who do you think has a better matchup each
Do
week?
you do you even have to
I do that
draft him?
so
That's the
many
question.
times in redraft.
I mean, depending on how deep the benches are here in your redraft leagues, I don't even know if you have to draft him unless the people are just hyped because it's the return of Waller. You might have to spend a super late round pick, but I mean, it's just tossing shit at walls and seeing if it sticks. Honestly, for that. And
Walls or Wallers?
oh man, let's move on to mine.
You don't
And
want to
this
be the
is
fantasy football Wallers
no, I don't want to
today?
be that at all ever in my life. Not a fan. We're moving on to another old balls though, for me.
Oh,
And this is a guy that's just been consistent. You want to talk about consistent?
oh,
Zach Ertz, man. Zach
okay.
freaking Ertz. He just keeps going and he keeps producing. And this is a team that they didn't do that much with the receiving core again. But they have a quarterback we believe in. They're going to have to keep moving the ball. Zach Ertz just got peppered with targets. And I mean, we didn't see him take a step back. He just kept going last year. He kept being consistent. I still like Zach Ertz. He was moving last year pretty darn good for an old guy. And my goodness, people just keep sitting on Zach Ertz. I mean, I know you and I both absolutely love Ben Sinnott. Maybe we
A
see
lot.
the maybe we see the Trey McBride season happen again, where it's season 2 and Ben Sinnott takes a step up. But Ertz was so consistent for him last year. I just don't know if that happens. Daniels loved tossing the ball up to Ertz. I mean, his very last game that he played with them, 11 for 16 in the playoffs. 16 targets in the playoffs. I mean, my goodness. Like, talk about a go-to guy for Daniels. I don't think they take that away from him. He loved him, and I think he's going to see more targets, man. I should
Well,
probably have him
Ertz,
higher than this.
it hurts me to say I have him outside my top 20, but I feel like from like tight end 10 to tight end 25, you could probably mismatch a lot of these guys, and they're just going to kind of fall in there. I have Zach Ertz at tight end 21, and I just mainly have as my comments, just simply put, Sinat is waiting in the wings, and they absolutely love Zach Ertz. They do, but eventually Father Time comes in. I just feel like he's going to start to show some flaws going into this season, and I feel like they're going to have some opportunities for Ben Sinnott, and they might be splitting time a little bit more than maybe the 12 targets that Sinnott had last year. But yeah, it hurts me to say. It hurts me to say. But I did pick another old tight end, and this also hurts me to say this. Tyler Higbee of the Rams. And you know how high I am on the Winter Soldier. I'm very high on the Winter Soldier. Tyler Higbee was tight end 65 last year, coming off a late year ACL injury. I think that was back in like January of 2024. It took him all season to get healthy, but when he was forced out there near the end of the season and the playoffs, he had 25 targets in 4 games, 3 of which he had only 23 to 41% snap percentage. In the final game, he had 82% snap share with 8, and he ended up being the tight end 2 with 18 fantasy points again in the playoffs. And so Tyler Higbee's not dead yet, and I feel like this could be his last hurrah. And tight end 15, he is pick 247 because there's so many people that are out on Higbee.
Wow, I'm a big Higbee fan. I've had him in dynasty leagues for a long time now, and I do love him. He just came off that devastating knee injury and everything, so
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, definitely could come back to form. And we saw that team get rid of their most consistent catcher in Cooper Kupp. So, I mean, that just opens up more opportunity. You know, they did add Adams, and you got Puka
That's a
still
big
there,
acquisition.
but it's still someone that Stafford has a relationship with. They this had an established one. You know, it's a go-to guy. So
They
um,
tried
I
to they tried to fill the holes last year with multiple tight ends, and they just didn't do the job. They were
yeah
like, you know what? We're tired of this. Put Higbee in, even if it's just for a low snap percentage. Put him in, and they
yeah
targeted him. They peppered him.
they love Higby, and I do too. I have him a little bit lower. My next guy is it's a sad one to me to even have here, but the upside still
Just
stands,
say
and
it. Just say it.
he's only a year older than Ben Sinnott.
I know it.
You know who it is?
It's because I have him here too.
No, you don't. Can
Yeah, pick
who
16.
who do you got?
Kyle Pitts.
It's Kyle Pitts.
Yes,
I
I know
can't
exactly who you're talking about.
I
You can't put him
cannot.
lower than this.
You can't. I just don't understand. I wanted to. I really did. I was just looking. I'm like, how low can I put Kyle Pitts on my list? And I just kept pushing him. And I'm like, I can't go any lower than this because he finished as the tight end one his rookie year. I mean, where did it go? What happened to Kyle Pitts? Was this man did somebody break his heart and he just can't play anymore? I don't understand.
They
You
just play
can't
him
let
wrong.
him.
They need to move him around the field, and they just stationary,
Oh man,
stationary. They're like,
is it
let's just throw a corner or a linebacker on him, and that's it.
is it a Falcons problem? If he moves on, is he more dynasty? Like,
I think it's a scheme problem.
you think it's a scheme problem?
Absolutely. I don't think. I think Pitt still has it. It's just they don't move him around the field. They just keep him in the same spot, and he can get covered by one guy.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't understand. The upside is there, and it should be. And I mean, I remember starting dynasty leagues where he was going in the first round. Man, it just hurts. It hurts so much again. Tight
He
ends
has
bring
the
me pain.
he has the Dalton Kincaid factor. He's not a guy that's going to be playing in line all that much to block. He's a part-time player. And that's one of the problems and one of the issues with Kyle Pitts. If there's a better tight end that can block, I mean, you're only going to be on the field half the time.
Yeah, and if you're out there, they know you're getting the ball or you're part of some route running
That's the
option.
problem. That's the
So
problem.
they can easily scheme their defense up to seeing you on the field and know what you're doing. So I get it, but you can't put them lower than this.
No, but one of the benefits he does have this season is he does have a new quarterback under center with Penix, and so you don't know who is he going to get locked into. There's trade rumors that are real also, and again, if he moves to another situation, I would hate that to happen middle of the season. It needs to happen like now so we can get acclimated. But again, they just need to move them around, and if they're not going to move them around, move them out and put them on another team and give them another opportunity chance.
Absolutely.
That's my high risk, high reward tier. Now these last few I've got in the dog tier. I had to name it after your dogs there, Colton.
DIWG.
And starting with your dogs is a guy that you've named a long time ago, and that's David Njoku, the top dog with the Browns, who are also known to be dogs. He was tight end 11 last year. I think the quarterback carousel will be a factor. I think that splitting time with Fannin Jr., or maybe there's more two tight end sets, which I think would be magical for the Browns. And possible Njoku trade also mid-season, especially with the Browns season probably going to be swirling the tank. I could easily see Njoku going to another team. Could you imagine Njoku getting traded to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs
Or the Chargers.
or the Chargers? I
Or
don't think
the
the Chargers do it. I don't think the Chargers do it.
I don't know,
They
but I
got
would
they got
love
Tyler
that.
they got Tyler Conklin, and they got Gadsden.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Gadsden.
Yeah, are you gonna
Which
are
who
they
both
in
of
your
which have
top
not
20?
been listed yet.
Yeah, are you in their top 20? Yeah,
No,
so
I think so.
I'm,
Not
I'm
not
looking. No,
not quite.
no, they're
But
not.
I so that way the Browns wouldn't have to play against him as much.
Hmm, I can see
What
that.
if the Falcons decide to get Ninjoku and What they could do a Njoku Pitts switch. I'd hate it for Pitts, but Njoku would be magical.
I don't know if I'd like it for either one of them. I don't like it. I don't like it for either one of them. What if the Dolphins got him though?
Now they got Waller.
What if
I
Waller?
don't want to play the. I don't want to play the music again.
What if Waller? What if Waller's just not it, and they're like, let's get Joe. Oh, I'd love that. Oh, I would like that.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Miami's swirling the tank. They're not going to
I
be.
just-
They're not going to push. They're not pushing the chips in anymore, Colton.
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, they
like,
literally
I-
they grabbed
Woo.
out of the scrap heap that is, Darren Waller, and I don't think Miami's going anywhere.
Could you imagine?
I can't even think
Just-
of the. I
just
can't even
don't-
comprehend.
Dunk the ball off to Njoku and let him do whatever he does. Oh gosh,
What about here? This would be the ticket.
now we're
Buffalo.
just speculating. Would you stop it? That's not good for anyone involved.
Oh, it'd be fantastic for Njoku.
My
They
pick
could
number
increase his
17.
target.
My pick number 17.
I mean, we can speculate all we want. I mean, I think Njoku anywhere is an awesome option.
Yeah. Anyways, pick 17. I've got Hunter Henry here, so all the reasons you picked, he's just a solid guy. He's gonna get you your points. If you need somebody to just ride out and gonna get you 10 points, he's gonna do it. He's gonna get you those 10 points, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ride that into the sunset.
That's all he has to say about that.
That's all I got.
18. Oh, go ahead. You got more with them?
No, I was just gonna say, like these next few guys, I don't have a whole lot. We're starting to get deep.
That's okay. We're getting close to the end of the show, Colton. Well, let's see who these last three are. I've got at my tight end 18 is Mike Gesicki. He was tight end 13 last year. I think that he is still going to be an option for the Bengals. But remember, Higgins was kind of on and off whether he was injured or not injured, and I think that increased the opportunity for Gesicki. Gesicki's always been a tight end that I've loved and liked. He's my Kincaid. Very similar athletics and responsibilities as a move tight end. And when there's not enough targets to go around, I think that's where Gesicki can get thrown in. Now, I know, they've got Chase and they've got Higgins, but we also know that their defense is completely poo-pooed, and they're going to have to throw the ball, which means it increases the number of pass attempts that Joe Burrow is going to have to sling the ball. And who better than Gesicki to be that third option on the team? I don't see another better option for that franchise at this time at the number 3 target.
I don't either. I like Gesicki, and he had some big games, and like you said, maybe that was increased by that. But did you not hear the news that Burton got himself together and he's doing better?
He's making himself stand up from the wheelchair that he was placed in last year.
Yeah, that's what he's. From all the things that I've heard is that he's actually gotten his crap together, and he is starting to improve as a person. I still
sounds
just
like
don't
coach
know
speak.
It sounds like
coach speak.
It sounds like coach
Off-season
speak.
fluff.
Oh yeah, well he's doing much better. How can we move this guy off our team and get
Off-season
something?
fluff.
Absolutely. So I do like Gesicki just taking the shot on someone they're gonna have to throw the ball around to keep up in games like they did last year, and I love
maybe
it.
This is probably where I should have put Zach Ertz instead of 21. Was probably where Gesicki is, but
you love who you love,
Yeah, I've always liked Gesicki. Who's your 18?
So my 18 is the old turd Ferg, and that's Jake Ferguson. We have a new turd Ferg in town. I mean, it's purely because once again, he's someone that she's shown upside. They did add George Pickens here, but
or do I have him?
They did not even try, it seems, to fix this running back field. They tried to make it worse, if anything. Adding Javonte, so they're going to have to move the ball. Dak is not a bad quarterback, regardless of what people say. He's a fine quarterback. So I've got Ferg here just for someone that's going to be on a team that has to throw the ball in order to get points. And so 35!
35. I have him one spot behind Conklin.
I mean, even the pros on their projected stats, he's like 14. I feel like
I'm going to write this down for a future reference to look back at the end of the season.
I mean, yeah.
My Jake Ferguson, I guess it's hot takey. Jake Ferguson finishing as
Dog
tight
doo
end
doo.
35. And I'll
My
put
goodness.
versus, what did you have him, 18?
Yeah.
All right. We're writing it
13
down.
is where his projected point total is currently.
Verse 13.
Verse 13.
13?
Yeah. 13 for his
No way.
projected point total. 13th is his projected point total.
That's for the verse. That's from the pros.
That's from the pros.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, that's, yeah, that's why I got him at 18. I was like, I mean, I can't ignore this projected point total. I can't
I
ignore
did.
it. I can't. I
I
mean,
think the
it's,
Schoon man could take some targets away from him.
I'm
I think
telling you,
Jake
right
Ferguson's
there,
just a guy.
13.
Jake Ferguson, he's just a guy.
I think Schoon's just a guy. I think they have two just
They
guys.
they're just guys, but they got
They're just,
Pickens. That's huge.
it is.
They didn't have a wide receiver too, and without a second wide receiver, he was still tight end 25.
We'll see where he ends.
The situation didn't get any better for him last I checked.
Yeah.
How did he jump to
I mean,
13?
the 2023, he was the tight end 8, and he only played in 14 games last year.
No,
So
no,
I don't know. Maybe that's where they're getting the numbers from, but I couldn't ignore the numbers. I like
I
numbers.
did.
I like numbers.
Nope. All right, this is a guy that finished as tight end 4 last year at my tight end 19 position. I can't let him drop any longer. That's Jonnu Smith with the Steelers. We talked about him getting moved to the Steelers. He's going to be splitting time with the Muth, but he could be the number 2 target. My concerns are, yes, he's with a new team. Yes, he's with Aaron Rodgers, who basically runs the slowest offense in the league with less plays, and there's going to be decreased scoring opportunities compared to the Miami Dolphins. But I feel like Jonnu Smith has shown how athletic he is. He's a guy that's going to get it done no matter what. Even when he was with the Titans on a floundering Titans team, he was still a guy that you wanted to have some exposure to. And, you can get him at the end of your redrafts, and maybe I'll get him in Scott Fish. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, he was getting drafted in like round 7, round 8, and as late as round 11. We're going to be going into round 12, and he is not picked yet since moving to Pittsburgh. And I'm just wondering, how far do I let him go before I draft him?
That is a tough question. I
Maybe 2
spoke
more
about it.
rounds because Pitts is still there. But
I've
like,
got
I'm not targeting Pitts.
I've
I'd rather
got
get
I've
Johnny
got
later.
I've got Jonnu at my 20 spot. So I still like him because he is a good
Right
tight
there.
end. It's just the landing spot is absolute garbage. We spoke to it at the beginning of this pod that, they're just going to kind of eat each other into little bits. I mean, I think Jonnu sees the higher target percentage. I think he sees more, but I mean, Pat's still going to get some work. So he's just going to eat into those spots, which is unfortunate. And also, they have another tight end that everyone forgets about, Darnell Washington.
Darnell.
Darnell.
Yeah, he's a big tackle.
I mean, he's a big boy. He's still going to be on the field.
They
I
were
mean,
number 3 in 3 tight end sets. I
he's
said
gonna.
15%. He can
That's
be
what I'm
on the
saying.
field to block
He's
while
going to be on the
Janu's
field.
running a screen pass.
He's not going to be running routes, yeah, but he's just still going to be another tight end that's used. I mean, it's just crazy what they're doing here. They have 3 tight ends. Stop being so selfish. Stop.
I like Darnell Washington, but not in fantasy.
No, not fantasy at all. No. But he's still going to be taking up snaps. So
Sure.
he's still going to be out there. But my Jonnu's my 20, so my 19 I'll touch real fast, and that's just Colston Loveland, just a high upside guy. You got to take the shot on him. He was taken 8th overall, man. Taken 8th overall. They're gonna use him at some point. The injury news comes out. I wanted to just talk about him, so I put him here.
He's Louise.
In redraft, maybe he's like, I don't know, 20 something truly, but I knew you weren't going to have him on your list. So I
37.
I knew you were going to have him super
low. I got Komet at 29.
Oh, come on.
They're
Get
going to
out
feed
of
into each
here.
other with opportunity.
They're going to, but
There's many franchises that goes with the veteran. Komet is a veteran. He's made a connection with Williams. He's going to be the guy, regardless of whether you like it or not.
I don't
Komet's going
think
to
so.
have opportunities. They're going to want to show him off if they want to move on from Komet.
They're gonna move on from Komet.
If they do, they need to have a trade partner. So they need to raise his ceiling up. So look for Komet to get targeted early and often.
I don't know. I think they're gonna use their 8th overall pick, man. I think they're gonna use them, and I
Nope,
mean
his shoulder.
the
Remember, he had shoulder surgery.
the
He
19th
had a
pick off
labrum
the
repair.
board, the
Labrum
19th tight
repair.
end. He's
No,
gonna have
no,
a
no.
big game at some point in the season, whether it's late in the season or something. I think you're gonna see him get some work in. I like Loveland more than what you do. I know you hate him.
City of Hope.
You have
City of
tight
Hope.
ends. Yeah,
I
they
love
do.
I love I love my tight ends. And
It's the hope that
if you've
kills.
listened to this far in, you might as well know I was a tight end back in the day, for at least for 1 year, my freshman year. And I'm guessing my route running wasn't very good. I'm guessing my ability
Can't
to catch the
catch.
ball wasn't great. But they saw something in my blocking, and so sophomore year I was the left offensive tackle going forward, and then also defensive end going forward for our starting for high school and playing all the special teams and maxing out. But yeah, I've got a little bit of a thing in my heart there for the tight end position, and we've brought this up many a time. But I know my tight ends, and I'm not a love. I'm no, no, no. I'm staying as far away from Loveland this year as possible. He'll be fine for dynasty, but why don't you just? Why would you pay mid? Why would you pay a mid first, late first, early second for Loveland when you could get him in the middle of the
You,
season, later in the season, and pay half that? That's just me. But my last tight end 20, is Jatavian Sanders of the Panthers.
I
Because,
scratched him out. I scratched him
yeah,
out for Johnny. I got him at 21.
got Jatavian here. He was tight end 36 last year, splitting time with 3 other tight ends last year. Now he's the primary tight end. Bryce Young seemed like he liked targeting the tight end. I don't have as much faith as many others do with Tet. And so I think Sanders is a good option here at the number 20. He had to
Yeah.
make the list.
Yeah, I think this is, yeah, I had him here at 20, and I was like, I've got to get Jonnu in here because of what he's done the last few years. So I scratched Jatavian out for Jonnu, but still a good option. He was everyone's favorite tight end, besides Brock Bowers, obviously. Sorry, he was the second favorite tight end last year for people.
Before the combine.
Before the combine, correct.
Yes.
So he was kind of everyone's like, oh, this guy is pretty good. He's going to be the tight end too. And I mean, Brock Bowers was obviously everybody's number one, but he showed a little spark last year. So I don't hate it. He had some little upside to him. Didn't look too bad. So sitting at 20, like I said, we're just throwing crap at walls, like the wet toilet paper that kids used to throw at the ceiling in high school. That's kind of what we're doing here with these later tight ends. So
And then finally, to finish the show off here, Colton, are there any other tight ends for this year, 2025, that you're keeping an eye on and seeing, if they start to produce early in the season, you're like, you know what, I think I better pick them up just in case?
it's everybody, this has been the same for the last 2 years, and this has been a guy that I've been able to just pick off the waiver wires, throw him in for a week or two when I need him. Cade freaking Otton, man. I mean, my goodness. He saw increased opportunity last year because of the injuries, but he's
A
still
lot
a
of
guy
injuries.
that, I mean, Baker loves to move the ball around. He's not afraid to throw to Otton. He's become a trustworthy guy, and some weeks he blows up, but he usually gets at least a couple targets a game. So it's somebody that you can definitely keep an eye on and pick off the waiver wires and drop him back to the waiver wires when you're done with them, and then pick him up again in a couple weeks if you need to, because he just flies under the radar. And I like Otton a lot for that possibility there.
Yep. Otton was tight end 14, 24. Obviously, some of the other tight ends to keep watch is the rookie tight ends. You already talked about or we are actually already talked about Terrence Ferguson. We talked about Fannin Jr. Mason Taylor, I think, is an under the radar guy because, is he going to be the number 2, number 3 target for the Jets? I have him as tight end 25, actually one ahead of Terrence Ferguson at 26 and one ahead of Harold Fannin Jr. at 27. Then I can't not say Juwan Johnson, also of the Saints. The Saints are going to be struggling with Radler and Show, and they're going to have to lean on a stable piece, and that is Juwan Johnson. And one last guy I'd like to talk about, and unfortunately it's not Ben Sinnott. It's actually Theo Johnson of the Giants. He was tight end 37 last year. He was injured in 2024 with fifth metatarsal fracture. He gets a quarterback upgrade, and he is ready to go. Theo Johnson for the Giants, and they don't have a lot of wide receiver options. And I could definitely see him being that big boy out there. He was drafted fairly early by the Giants just last year, and I like me some Theo Johnson.
Super athletic guy. I loved him last year. I love athletic tight ends, so I picked him up in a couple leagues, either like late in the 4th or undrafted. I got him a few times, and so I like Theo Johnson a lot. Uber athletic, and yeah, like he said, upgraded quarterback. So good one.
That is our tight ends episode. Next weekend, I'm going to be unavailable to be on the pod, but I may try and send something out there. We'll see how this week goes. You'll just have to stay tuned to the Fantasy Football Healers program, but we'll have to come back in and either do running back or wide receiver for redraft coming up here, or maybe we can talk about a few other things. We'll see.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
It's gonna be a great one. Oh man, can't wait to talk some other stuff, man. Running backs, wide receivers, we'll have to get to them. I mean, I feel like those are a little bit easier, but you gotta dabble.
Yeah, we can go any which way. You just never know which way the show's going to go.
I can tell
But
you, Indiana Jones will not be in my top 20.
I was going to say,
Not happening. Mm-mm.
we already did the quarterback position. We already did quarterbacks.
I know.
You can go on X and you can see, what our quarterback rankings were.
He'll
But
never-
I was going to
yeah.
say
He'll
the
never
one
top my 20.
consistent is Indiana Jones. He is going to be the theme for this show for this foreseeable year.
Will
Colton.
not
It's
top
gonna
my
be just,
20. Mm-mm.
just amazing.
Nope.
Absolutely love it. All right. Well, hang in there, everybody. We're only just a couple weeks away from the Hall of Fame game on the 31st of this month. Football is coming up. If you're getting the itch like me, and you're not drafting in the Scott Fish Bowl, which that's been helping kind of boost that dopamine for me. Quarterback on Netflix is actually was really good here. Season 2 just allowed you to stream here this week. Go on. It's going to get you psyched for the season, and get ready for some redraft action coming up here soon. Take care, everybody.
Absolutely. Bad football is still good football. So,
Any football. I have such an itch.
salud.
I can't end on that's. I've got such an itch. But that's exactly what. But that's how we're ending the show. That's how we're going to end the show.
Ending it. Got an itch to scratch.
Oh.
Salud.